Y'all, these hagwons will try you. These public schools will try you. Korea companies will try you. Make sure you know that contract. You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking? But no, I'm serious. I'm for real. Memorize it like the back of your hand. Hello, my name is China, and I am a kindergarten teacher in South Korea. All the facts, all the information, the truth. I have a book here because I get easily sidetracked, so I have notes to keep us all on task. The benefits. So you get paid housing, free housing. I pay a little bit more for my housing because I wanted something a little bit different. But they do give me money, and then just because I wanted something higher, I do pay a little bit more. But your housing should be covered. But make sure in your contract it says that your housing is covered. You don't want to get into yourself in a position where it's like, oh, I thought I had housing, and you didn't because it wasn't in your contract. Sometimes they provide you with the housing, and then sometimes they give you a stipend. So a stipend would just be like, here, take the money, you go pick your house. Providing would just be like, here's the set house for you. Also, your flight reimbursement. So I say some because I'm not going to speak for all schools. Some will pay for you to come over here. They'll pay the flight. Usually you'll pay for it first and then they'll reimburse you. I got my reimbursement like a month later. And then some will, so since I switched jobs and I didn't need a flight to come to the other job because I was already in Korea, I have a flight going home. Whenever I decide to go home, I have a reimbursement for my flight home. I have healthcare over here, which is helpful, very helpful. I didn't have healthcare back at home, so I do appreciate this. And then I have a pension here. So each month, money is taken out of my check and it goes to a fund. And then when I leave Korea, I get all of that money back. So that's also helpful. Cultural immersion. Hello. You're in Korea. When I got over here, it was a 14-hour flight, but it was a nice flight. When you first come over here, you have to do a health screening, and this is even before COVID. Like, you always have to do this health screening, and you have to do a drug test. Don't be smoking the marijuana before you come over here because you go get sent right back. Okay, don't do that. Okay, you do not want to have any drugs in your system. You want to be in good health standing because they want you at your best health. So, requirements. What do you need to teach in South Korea? You need a bachelor's degree. You could literally have your bachelor's degree in mashing potatoes. You just need a bachelor's degree. It could be in anything. My bachelor's degree my bachelor's degree is in art. So I was like, okay, I have that. The next thing you need is a Tefl certification, which I actually do not have. You should have one. I'm telling you to get one. I'm in the process of getting mine now. It's a 100-hour certification. I got hired without one. I'm not sure technically how, but you need to have a Tefl certification. It's about $30 or 30 or 40. Some Tefls will try to make it seem like they're like a lot of money. You can just find one that's like $30, $40. I will include the one that I'm doing at the moment. And then you must be from a native English speaking country. So the USA, Canada, the UK, Ireland, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. These are all of the places. When I put this on Twitter, a lot of people were asking about like Nigeria. And unfortunately not. This I don't think is considered a native English speaking country here. So I know it can be, I'm not going to say impossible to get a job, but I know it can be very, very, very hard. Yeah, so those are the only requirements. The other requirements that are just come along with the process, like having a background check, no criminal record, like that. So I went through a recruiter from the beginning job, my first job. So I've had 2 jobs so far in Korea. I didn't finish my first contract, and then I have my current job. So when it came to a recruiter, I just Googled and I looked. I suggest doing a recruiter from the beginning because you don't really know what you're doing and it kind of does help you out a lot. But the recruiter I had was called English Work. And then there's another good one that a few of my friends went through that are in public school that did Corvia. And then you can look on gooverseas.com and there's a lot of job listings and a lot of recruiters there. And then Dave's ESL Cafe has a lot of jobs, mainly those you would just apply directly. And I think Corvia has also a job board. So there's different types of schools in Korea. A hagwon is a private academy, meaning it's like a business. It's paid for. People pay to go to the school. Then there is the public school, which is government funded. And then there's international schools. International school is a little bit different, and I don't really know that much about it. I'm not certified to teach international school. You actually have to go to school to teach that. When it comes to a hagwon, some of the pros are you can get higher pay. There are more foreign teachers. Usually at a public school, it's only one of you. And there's a lot of options. There's many academies everywhere to kind of apply to get a recruiter to get you through. There's a lot of academies. Some cons. Ooh, we love the cons, right? Less vacation time. So I only get 5 days in the summer, 5 days in the winters. Yeah. And you can't choose that vacation time either. It is already kind of planned out by the school. So you kind of have to plan your vacations around what the dates that they gave you. And then, unfortunately, since it is a business, some only care about the money. It's just how business goes. Some could care less about how their facility looks, or they only make it look nice for when the parents are watching, or everything is kind of in the view of how it looks to the parents because the parents are paying. That's just a business thing, and I'm sure some private schools everywhere are kind of like that in their own way, but that is a con. Public school. Some good things about public school. There's more vacation time. That usually I've seen like up to like 9 weeks. I've seen like 26 days up to 9 weeks. So it depends on the school. All vacations depend on the school, because sometimes I've even seen higher vacation days at a hagwon than my own. So everything depends on the school. And then less hours, I feel like. Usually as a hagwon, you're working some hours, okay? Like you are. But I feel like a public school, you're kind of doing more, you're teaching your few classes, and then you're doing more desk warming, which is where you're kind of sitting at your desk and kind of waiting to do your like lessons. We don't really get too much of that being at a hagwon. It depends on the school. I know personally, working at a kinder, we don't have that time. We have maybe about 2 hours, and that's usually filled with you prepping, and that's if you get that. So it depends on the school. Then I think another thing, this kind of goes for both hagwons and public, and this also depends on the school. I say that a lot because it's very true. All schools are different. But some schools, so my first school, I didn't have that much freedom in planning my lessons. And that might work for some people. Some people may prefer to not do as much lesson planning and just have all the materials provided for them. And then some people, as myself, I would prefer to make everything. And that can be good or bad. That's why I didn't really put it in a pro or con, because it just depends on the school and it depends on you. At my first school, like I said, I didn't have that option. And then here I do a lot. So it's a lot of work, but I would prefer to do it this way than the other way. But I've had friends who wouldn't want to do what I do, and they would prefer to just have all of the things outlined for them. So just depends on you. When I did the recruiter, I just looked on Go Overseas. I found this one guy, his name was Michael Kim, and it said, if you are looking for a job, email me with your name, your photo, and your resume. And that's what I did. I literally just did that. And I said, hey, I'm interested in applying for a teaching position. Then he sent me back. He responded very promptly, and he asked me, okay, so what location are you interested in? What age group? Location, at first, I had no preference. Now, I do not recommend you say that. I think you should decide if you are a city person, a more rural person, laid back person, if you want to be close to the beach, whatever is best for you, because you're going to be living there for a year, and that will take a toll on you if you're not happy with where you are. at first I did not care, but now I prefer to be in a city area. I do like being in Seoul. That's just who I am. I feel more connected to art here. I feel more connected to people here. I just feel more connected with my city than I did previously. And I just like being able to be in Seoul versus taking a bus to Seoul every weekend and then having to go back. Just a preference. So yeah, I would just make it known. If you really, really want to be in the city, make that known, because I've known people who really wanted to be in Seoul and just hated their job elsewhere, and it just dragged on them every day that they weren't in Seoul. So if that's a big thing to you, make sure that it's communicated. Then another thing, your age group. What age do you want to work with? So there's kinder, which is like, kindergarten is 4 to 6, I think, 4 to 7 years old. Then there's like elementary school students, and then there's high school, and then there's also university. University is a little bit different. You have to have, I think, like a master's degree, depending on the position. But I don't know anything much about university, but I know that that's also an option too if you're interested in that route. So I think that picking an age group is very important too, because it's just like the city. Like if you need to have a preference so you can be happy within that year. I know I really, really like younger kids, but I didn't know that at first. And I was a little bit older, and it was fine, but I wanted to do more hands-on activities. I wanted to do more like playing and more connection with my kids at a younger age. And I know that's not for everyone, because I know some people don't want to work with very tiny kids. And because there's not that much independence and you're kind of doing a lot. And I know some people want to have more conversations with their children. So it doesn't make you a bad guy, or if you don't want to do kinder or don't want to do this, just know your preference, so that you are able to enjoy your school year with your students. And then another thing that he asked, when would I be able to start? I said ASAP. I didn't care. And then another thing was if I had tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, but if you do, I've seen people work with tattoos. I think you just have to send them a picture to show what it is, and if it's in a space. Like if it's here and you can't see, I don't think you need to say anything. But if it's certainly like something very like, you know, I don't know, if you have just stuff all over you, then yes, then you should let them know, or just figure out how to cover it. If nobody see, nobody know. Also during this time, while he was asking me these questions, he was getting me to get my paperwork started. So with my paperwork, I had to do a background check. I had to get that background check and my diploma apostilled. Apostilled means like an authenticated copy. Your recruiter will explain all the paperwork to you. If you apply to the school will take care of that and show you how to apply for your visa, as they should. If you have problems with that might not be the best school. So a few days later, I got sent a job that was interested. We did an interview. I interviewed with the head teacher of the school. I was a little bit nervous, but it was fine. When you're doing your interview, do not, oh my gosh, you guys, you would be surprised what people do in interviews, but do not make it just seem like you're here to travel and you want to have fun. Like, it's still a job, okay? Yes, you're going to do those things, but it's still a job. Really, there was one guy who like did an interview in the car, like sitting in the dark in the car. Like that is not professional whatsoever. Try to have a lighted view, because most likely you're going to be doing this on Skype if you're overseas. Have a nice lighted interview, wear professional clothing, groom yourself, and speak loudly, speak clearly, make sure there's no interferences in the background. Look up how to do a job interview online. Like, you know, treat this with respect. Just try to make sure you're not just saying, oh, I like K-pop, or, oh, I love this boy band, or, oh, I love kimchi so much. Okay, like, yeah, but what about the job? How can you make sure that these children are getting good education? So yeah, I got a response the next day that they wanted to hire me. I accepted the job. Now, I was a little bit fast with it because I got excited. I'm honest, I got excited. I would say take some time to truly make sure that this is what you want to do. Make sure that the information they give you about the job is what you want. Think about like the pay, think about like just some of the things that they say in the job description. Make sure that's what you want. And please, before you sign anything, read your contract, read it back and forth, memorize it, make it a song, do something. Read your contract. Make sure you know how many vacation days you're getting. Make sure you know if you have sick days, how many are you getting? Are they paid? Make sure you know how much you're getting paid. Make sure you look at how they do the tax reduction. It will say on the contract. Make sure you look at it. If you say, I don't work on Saturdays, make sure that contract does not say that you work on Saturdays. Make sure the time. If you say you work a 9 to 5, make sure you're not there at 7 o'clock. And that contract said that, because these employers, they will turn around and they'll be like, well, your contract says this and this. And if you blindly signed that, that's on you. So make sure you just know your contract. But yeah, I love Korea. I really do. I've met so many interesting people here. I've learned so many interesting things about myself here. And I just feel like I'm transforming into this person that I've always wanted to become. And, you know, it takes some time. Like, when you first come here, I feel like you're a train wreck, because you literally just uprooted your life and moved to another country that you don't even know how to do anything in. But it did take some while to get used to. And now I feel more present. And now I feel like, since I know more of what I want, I'm able to manage my life a little bit better. And I'm still working on it. But I do appreciate my experiences here. And I just wish that like everybody could do something like this, because it really does teach you so much about yourself. And I know that's so cliche to say, but it's not even in just like there's so many things that you just didn't realize that you would learn here. And not even just like, oh, now I know how to teach kids. Half the lessons I've learned aren't even about the schooling. It's everything outside of that, you know, where I've learned these lessons about friendships, about relationships, about just people in general, about me in general. And I'm just very appreciative of it. One thing, your English is going to get jacked up. Like you, because you're speaking such a low level English sometimes. I just feel like some of the stuff I say makes no sense. But I love my children. I love my children like so much. They're the sweetest little green peas on this planet. And they make me so happy. Even when you are having a bad day at work, it's just like you see your little 6-year-olds and you're just like, yeah, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. So yeah. If you have any questions, I would love to hear your comments. Would love to hear your questions. Just put them in the comment box below and I will try to do my best answering them. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay positive.